So do you need probate if there isn't a will in place? Because sometimes we'll come in contact with families that say, you know, I know the house is in the estate and I know I have to go through probate, but we're not sure if there's a will, or we're not even sure where the will is.
The short answer is you do need to go through a probate, and when someone dies without a will, it's called dying intestate. And what's interesting about that is, and I tell this to clients on a regular basis, you actually have a will. If you die intestate, it's simply looking in the statutes. The point of the statutes is to govern the title transfer. So when I meet with a family and they say we don't have a will, then we have to turn to the statutes to figure out who the beneficiary is, and then in doing so, we initiate a probate process, having someone typically appointed as a personal representative to manage that probate, and then the heirs at law, those who are named as beneficiaries through the statutes, can become the owners. But we absolutely have to go through a probate process in that case.
Okay, so the personal representative is basically the person who who makes the overall decisions as far as how things are going to go with the probate case, right? They're your point of contact, basically.
Yeah. Another way to think of the personal representative is it's sort of like a power of attorney for an estate.
I got you.
Okay. It's not legally called that, but that's a good descriptive. And so the job of the personal representative is to manage what's happening in an estate, which would include collecting assets, controlling those assets, like dealing with a house, and then if there's a sale, addressing a sale on behalf of the estate.
And sometimes it can be easier for the personal representative to be the person who's local, right? Because family is spread out all over the United States today, right? And so if the person who's local can be the personal representative, that can make things a lot easier as far as communication and dealing with paperwork and all that, right?
Yeah, I mean, the probate process is not light on paper, so having someone local is oftentimes easier. If it's not possible, we're very digital nowadays, so we can do things remotely. But we find that when we have a local contact, it's a much smoother process.
And what's your thought about, in that case, let's say you have relatives that are in 3 to 4 different states, right? What are your thoughts on the personal representative or the other family members basically signing a power of attorney if they don't want to deal with all the paperwork and everything, and they just want one person to make the decision as far as the estate and how that gets distributed? What are your thoughts on basically having the person who's local become the power of attorney?
So if we have a probate administration and there's a personal representative designated, they have that power of attorney. Okay, it's called letters of administration. And so the time that we would look at a power of attorney is when the real estate is transferred out of a probate to the beneficiaries. So let's say you and I are brothers, our parents have died, the house passes to us, I'm not local, you are. It would be very efficient for me to give you a limited or special power of attorney to manage the real estate, which including selling, so that I don't have to participate in a closing.
Absolutely.
That can become very cumbersome.
Yeah, absolutely. It saves time from flying into the...
or even just mailing things out,
Yeah.
and then having to collect signatures from multiple beneficiaries. I've worked, one of the largest probates I worked on had over 100 beneficiaries.
Wow, that's a lot of beneficiaries.
And it was an unusual one, we don't have to get into it, but trying to find 100 people was a challenge, and then getting them to all participate was a greater challenge. So giving a power of attorney to one person as a point contact made things a whole lot easier.
Simplified the whole process.
Absolutely.
Great. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. If you have questions about the probate process or have a house that you need to sell, we'd love to hear from you.